Welcome back. Another video, not on the bank, obviously. We're in my living room. And we've got a few things to talk about as far as what's going on, what's happening, and kind of a semi-unboxing. I got a number of products that have come in from a few different sources. Nothing that you've not heard about before, but they're all for one particular reason. So, before we get into all the product and things like that we're talking about today and where it came from, I do want to shout out a huge congratulations to my good buddy Kevin. You've seen him in a number of the videos. Most recently our 12 Months of Carp April edition, where he absolutely spanked Goldie and I by pulling out 5 fish right beside us when we were struggling to get a bite, one of which was over 20 pounds. And I'm completely confident that it was the bait mix that he makes up himself that he was throwing out there and got those fish grubbing around in that area. That was the reason I got my first 20 of the year, the 22.8, right off of his spot once he left. You know, he got those fish there. If it wasn't for him, that 20 would not have come out for us. So we're going to post up a picture right now of Kevin's fish. He has joined the 30 club, 30 pounds 2 ounces. Huge congratulations, Kev. I know that it was tough. The pictures are really tough quality. He was fishing by himself. He didn't have his action camera with him, and he thought that I was sleeping in this morning, so instead of calling me to just rip down the road and take a photo for him, unfortunately he let it go with just the best he could get. He didn't want to keep the fish out of the water too long. So, you know, great fish care, but I guess he's going to have to get a bigger one to get those proper photos done. You know, that he can mount up on the wall or something. But, you know, great job, Kev. You really worked hard for it. I saw him fishing there yesterday morning on my way to work, and he had 3 pickups while I was there. So a slight adjustment to the rig. He put it back out, and by the time I was at work, you know, half an hour later, he let me know that he had lost a monster fish, lost the rig that we had done up for him, lost his method feeder. He had a score to settle. He went back today, nailed an 18, a low 20, and his 30. So again, ecstatic for you, buddy. Great job. It was wonderful jumping out of bed this morning while the whole house was still asleep, getting on the phone with you to talk about that fish. So next up, in a few upcoming videos, you're going to see that we were out with Jan again, our good buddy Jan, as well as his brother Cor from over in Holland. So, as we affectionately call them, Dutch Nuts and the Champ. You know, about a month or two ago, I received a package in the mail that was quite a surprise from Cor, just loaded with tackle. Pop-ups from Mainline and, you know, already glugged pop-ups soaked in goo that have an amazing smell, and they're bright pink, and they've already produced a fish for me. Chod rigs and hook link material. Like, it was just loaded right up. PVA nuggets, everything. It was absolutely amazing, incredible generosity from him, and we put a lot of this stuff to the test, and it started producing fish for us right away, mainly because we had never done the chod rig before, and all of this stuff in this box was set up to really work the chod rig. So we gave it a go, and not only was I impressed, but Goldie is now using nothing but the chod rig lately, and he's been cranking out fish. Pretty much 3-1 against me so far, especially for May. So as we continue, we recently got down to a trip, you'll see this in a later video, where we were able to meet up with Jan and Cor, because Cor came over from Holland to have a nice visit with the family for his brother's birthday and Mother's Day. And we really wanted to get out and do some fishing together because we hadn't fished together since last summer. And the weather conditions, there's no nice way to say it, the weather conditions sucked. Horrible rains, cold winds, water levels were way up, as they are in southern Ontario right now. But we stuck it out. We went down to a harbor nearby where they are. So yeah, we got to this location that we were going to fish with them at about 9 p.m. Again, local harbor. And Goldie and I baited up the area. We got our lines up. The winds were bad. Just horrible conditions, really horrible conditions. And they showed up about midnight or so. We were starting to catch some Z's in the van. Oh well, Goldie was actually sitting in there editing 2 other videos that evening while it poured rain. But through the night, a couple of little pickups, but nothing really turned into any actual takes. Next morning, Core managed to just check his line and found a small catfish. You'll see what we did with that in the May edition of our 12 months of carp. You know, just a word of advice, Jan. You need to get up earlier. Don't sleep in while the rest of us are up fishing. But yeah, we fished that venue from, like I said, 9 p.m. the night before until about noon. Didn't materialize into anything, but a great time. So we changed venues, hoping that we can get in some fish. We found a spot that was just boiling with fish, all at about the 80-yard range. And it really gave me more of a challenge to improve my casting, and I was spotting out to that range. I was casting out, really getting comfortable as I learned more distance fishing. I was hitting 80 and 90 yards just fine. Felt really comfortable doing it. Again, didn't materialize into a fish. So even though we worked really hard, didn't really get much out of it, we had an absolute great time. I just can't say enough about how much fun it is to fish with these guys. And I'm so happy that Core was able to come over from Holland and spend time with his family and you know, take that couple of days out of his schedule to fish with us. Again, anytime you're back here, Core, we will fish with you. If we ever make it over to Holland, I look forward to fishing with you there. But you know, just absolute, genuinely great people to fish with, the 2 of them. You'll see more of Jan later in this season. We have a lot of projects planned that he is definitely going to be part of. Now, with that package that I had mentioned, that Core had sent over to me, you know, it had a lot of this stuff, you know, the pre-tied chod rigs from Corda, like I said, the pop-ups and such. We gave them a go, and very, very impressive. Goldie is nuts on the chod rig right now. I'm definitely a believer. But he also brought us, Jan and I both, a gift. Something that I definitely know I need, and we'll discuss that a little bit more, why I need it. For those of you who already have a finger stall, you already know. But it's something that I've always been a little bit wary about. And I actually put this to the test in that casting to that distance when we fished that second venue. And now I understand. It really does make a difference, you know, holding that line, not feeling as much of that sharpness in your finger when you make that cast. And I was using mono, mind you. You know, this is more for braid. But what a difference. I think this did help me feel a little bit more comfortable just blasting it out there. The other thing he brought me was some marker sticks. These are the ones from Fox. And these are 24 inches. Now, you do know that I have the Gardner distance sticks. I absolutely love them. They are 18 inches. I like them because they're a multi-purpose distance stick. Those ones I use primarily for bank stick. It's very sleek design, very simple. I can fit them in a backpack really easily. So they're really, really good distant bank sticks. And then when I need them as distance sticks, I have them. So I don't have to carry an extra set. Now for longer sessions, I'll have a longer set that I can put up in maybe some taller grass. Or when I have more luggage to carry where I can fit these in, these will be great. And they have a little notch on the top for a light stick to sit in the top. Now obviously when I'm fishing with Demir, my marker sticks don't come out. We use his. He has those, I think they're 36 inch, or they're really tall, the Signet ones. Absolutely awesome. I love the Signet ones, and I would buy them myself, but now I have 2 other sets of distance sticks. So fishing with Demir, we use Signet. Out on my own, it's going to be the Fox ones or my Gardner ones, which I've already been using for almost a full season now, and I absolutely love them. So again, thank you so much, Core. Incredibly generous. Really looking forward to fishing with you again. I had a great time, you know, both sessions that we've done so far in respective years. So yeah, Jan, we're going to get out with you some more. Core, again, looking forward to it. We'll see you later, champ. Now moving on, in preparation for what we have coming up, as of the day of filming right now, we are 1 week away from the Shimano Canada Carp Cup. It's up in Long Sault, Ontario on the St. Lawrence River. I believe at this standing right now we have 13 teams that are competing, Demir and I being our team anglophiles. So I've been stocking up on material from Carp Kit and from my local tackle shop, for any little things that I'm forgetting as I go through all my equipment and try and catalog it and figure out exactly what I have to make sure I have everything I'm going to need, because I've never fished there. I don't know what conditions we're going to be faced with weather-wise. We're watching it on a daily basis and it's changing. One day it says rain, the next day it says it's going to be sunny and 28 degrees. We just don't know what's going to happen. So next we come to my local tackle shop. Trying to get through all the things that I have. My tackle box is an absolute disaster. I've got stuff everywhere. It's been hard to keep track of what I have and what I need. And as I've been planning my orders through Carp Kit to make sure that I get my bigger items or my specific brand items, kind of the little things that I use that I get from my local shop, I knew I could just kind of pop over after work and grab some of them. So one of the key things is the hook I use, Monster Carp tackle hooks. I think I grabbed like 6 packs of like size 4, size 6, and size 8 because I've really been using a lot of the size 8 this year, and I've been finding that it's made a big difference. I've actually gotten some of the larger fish scaling down my hook. I was completely out of inline leads. I think I actually have one dice lead that's an inline. The rest of them are all like swivel leads that I got to use like a lead clip for, or my helicopter or chod rigs. So I picked up a bunch of my inline leads that I use. They finally had some 70-gram ones in stock, because normally the carp gear goes in and it goes out right away. So I usually have trouble getting the smaller leads just simply because they sell out so fast. I have been out of my yellow floating sweet corn for 3 months, and every time I'm there I keep forgetting to get some. So I grabbed another pack of yellow floating sweet corn. I need these for next weekend, so I finally got them. Another one of those little things where you just happen to pop into the shop and you can grab them. I also noticed that I only have about 3 left of the Corda solid PVA bags. They're also that smaller size. So knowing me fishing a big water when we're heading up to fish the St. Lawrence, I'm going to be starting off with probably a large solid bag with either some crushed boilie, some ground bait mix, any number of things. And I just replenished 1 pack of solid bags. I might not even use too many of them, but I wanted to make sure I had some larger ones ready. Again, a lot of these things are the ESP or the Monster Carp brand. Again, just small things I picked up from my local shop. So one of the other things I needed was a resupply of the Monster Carp Tackle Licorice Lust Corn. I have caught so many fish with this, it's frightening. I just started using it last summer. I was lucky enough to run into Dave Pendlebury, a representative of Monster Carp Tackle, and he so kindly gave me a jar of this to try while we were talking about it. And yeah, this has been a bait that I've been able to switch to when I'm not catching at all and produce a fish, even if it's just 1 bite to save the session, or 1 bite to kind of kick off that feeding mode again and start getting them on everything else. Myself has used this, Goldie, my buddy Jesse has used this with us, and you've already seen some of the videos where we've actually used this product. It kicks off a hard bite. Those fish grab it and they go, and yeah, I can't fish next weekend on the St. Lawrence without taking some of that with me. So I needed to resupply. So, a lot of good things that I needed to pick up from my local shop, stuff that I can't get anywhere else, or things that I just kind of, oh crap, I needed that, run over to the tackle shop and grab it. So here we come to the next purchase, something I've been very reluctant to get my hands on. I really like mono. I've really come to like using the fluoro-coated mono, the Witchwood DPF line. It's probably one of the best lines I've actually ever used, and I plan to implement it into all my fishing. Not just my carp gear. I'm actually going to be switching that purple line onto my bass rods, my muskie rod, my salmon rod. Maybe not the trout lines, because I really like P-line for my trout fishing. But I hate braid. I've not had good luck with braid. I've actually had tremendously horrible luck with braid. You know, it's supposed to be incredibly strong, but I found that I was breaking off braid in my fishing more so than my mono lines. You know, fishing places like the Lower Niagara River, the Whirlpool, the Glen, you got a lot of big sharp rocks that the fish can get into, and I was breaking it even before I had a fish on. So I've been really reluctant to get this braid, and I probably should have ordered it from Simon at Carp Kit, but I held out and I just didn't want to get it. But everybody has told me I need it to fish up there with. So on the advice of Simon, the advice of Len, you can't go to the St. Lawrence and not use braid. So I picked up some braid, 300 yard spool of Suffolk Performance braid. I'm going to put this on the reel. I'm going to use it. You know, thankfully I have the finger stall now. So again, I'm nervous about it, being so confident in the lines that I've been using. But you got to go with that knowledge. You know, these guys know what they're talking about. They've fished up there themselves. They also deal with this brand on a regular basis, so they know braid is what's needed for this venue. I'd be stupid not to get it and use it. What I'm going to do, for my own peace of mind and my own confidence, I'm going to spool up the other spool, my distance spool, with the line that I'm confident with, so that if I have any issues, I can switch over and see how that goes. So far that's that, and now we're going to get into the special stuff, the big stuff, the stuff I'm most excited about. So, my most recent order from CarpKitcom. You know, normally if I'm just getting a small group of items, you know, terminal tackle or maybe a bag of boilies, I just get it shipped to me. But luckily, part of the website, you have the availability of picking it up directly to avoid the shipping costs if you live close to where it can be picked up. So even though it is, you know, an hour and a half drive for me, I feel more comfortable having that option when I have to purchase something like a rod or a larger item. I don't have to worry about anything happening to it during shipping. So we can go and pick it up. So we recently went and had a nice little visit with Simon to pick up our orders, both Demir and I. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about these products. So one of the first things that we got, this is something that we need. I mentioned PVA before. You know, we've got the solid bags. I've got some of the mesh that I use, you know, the larger mesh funnel web systems. But I wanted something much smaller. And this is one that Demir uses in particular, the Corda funnel web system. And this is the long chuck funnel web. They also have a slightly smaller one, it's the boilie funnel web system. I was going to go with that, but I thought, you know, what if I want those sticks a little bit wider? So I went with the long chuck, and this would be great for compressing down and making those really small sticks that I can slide my hook length through, and they'll help. Not only will they help in the cast, you know, keeping that bait to kind of fall away from the lead, it'll give it a little bit more weight for distance, since, you know, fishing the St. Lawrence next weekend, we could end up with a peg where we have to fish at 100 yards. This will help with that. So the nice thing about this is, you know, nice as the design is this funnel web system comes with the compressor tool. And last season, purchasing another funnel web system that I wanted to try out, unfortunately it didn't come with a compressing tool, you know, a plunger to pack it all down. I had to make something to make that work. So, you know, already I'm more excited about this just because of the fact that it comes with everything you need to use this product. And I have used it myself whenever I steal PVA sticks out of Demir's bag, because he catches a lot of fish, and when I'm not catching fish, he leaves his PVA out. So you just grab a PVA stick and you cast it out there. So yes, being familiar with this, I was looking forward to getting some of my own, and you know, we're going to be going through a lot of PVA. Every cast is going to have a stick on it. We're going to be preparing these probably 2 days ahead of time before we leave. So I wanted to make sure I got it, and yeah, I'll probably actually start making some sticks tonight. So, long chuck funnel web system. Looking forward to using that. And again, as you've seen, as you watch these videos kind of previously leading up to now, seems like some of the quarter products are moving more and more into my tackle box. I don't know if that's just coincidence or if it's a test to the products themselves, but yeah, quarter's showing up a little bit more often. Next, you would have seen me use C. Seymour products in the past. This is something new for me. Now, the C. Seymour Magic Carpet Ground Bait Mix, I use that in my stick mix, I use that in my PVA bags. Absolutely love it. Completely forgot to order a bag of that. But it's okay. I do have some stick mix mixed up downstairs. We are also going to be hooked up from our good buddy Kevin, who recently got his 30-pounder just this morning. He's actually going to make up a batch of his method mix, his ground bait mix, for us. I don't know what he puts in it, but it is gold. It catches fish. So we're going to have lots of ground bait to use while we're up there for the stick mixes and such. Some of this will go into that, but I bought this mostly for free offerings and hook baits. And I've used C. Seymour boilies last year. We used the Pacific tuna, a great bait, smells amazing. The problem that we ran into is that we have a lot of catfish in our big carp venues. So the Pacific tuna caught us a lot of catfish. Now, not just any catfish, like some big cats, like 10, 12, 15 pounders. If I was out specifically targeting catfish, I know what bait I'm going to use. Man, those were really good catfish. We did catch carp with the Pacific tuna, but we found it very difficult to get through the cats to be able to get them. So I'll probably avoid the Pacific tuna for my venues unless I can find a location that doesn't have catfish. Because if it doesn't have catfish, it probably has some really big carp, and the Pacific tuna would be the big fish bait for that, given what's in it. But for now, I wanted to try something new, and we have the C. Seymour Live System boilies. I have 18 mil and 15 mil. Like I said, this is going to be probably put out with the throwing stick and used for hook baits. Smells amazing, and I'm really excited to give this a good go. It was one thing that Demir and I have stocked up on all the different boilies from the different companies that we've used in the past. So we're pretty much taking everything up with us. The one thing we didn't have was C. Seymour Live System yet. Neither one of us have used it, but we've heard nothing but great things for it. So these made the trip home from CarpKitcom. They're going in the bag. They're going to be going up to St. Lawrence with us, and we are really hoping that these kick off a big fish session for us. So I'm really excited, and if these things perform anything like the Magic Carpet for me, or happen to catch as many fish as the Pacific tuna did for me, I could be using a lot more C. Seymour through the season. And now, the most exciting part, something I'm most excited about. If you saw our 12 months of carp edition of the video series we're doing for January, you would have seen at the very end a horrible incident happened. My very loyal Daiwa Mad Dragon 12-foot 3-pound test curve rod died. It shattered on the cast. Really, to this moment, we still haven't quite figured exactly what it was that did it. The rod wasn't even fully loaded. We just don't know what happened. It broke, and I needed a new rod. Now, luckily, through some kindness from Will from Peterborough Carping Guides, he was able to hook us up with a rod to use for February and subsequently March, and that rod's been great. A Daiwa Phantom, 12-foot 3-pound test curve. So all these Daiwa rods that I've been using have been great. I've also been using more often the Daiwa Black Widow Spod rod that I picked up. You would have seen that in our Spod edition unboxing video from October. I busted that out, I think, in April, and I've been getting a lot more practice with it, growing in incredible confidence with my casting abilities. But when it comes down to the actual fishing rod, the 3-pound test curve rod I'm using, I just don't think is going to be enough for those big fish at the St. Lawrence. So I needed to upgrade the rod. I needed a 3.5 test curve rod. And going through the website, looking at all the different rods on the Carp Kit, there's Shimano, there's Fox, there's all these other brands, and then there's Daiwa, which obviously I look at, having experience with Daiwa rods, and knowing that I bought the Black Widow for my spod rod, I thought, okay, well, I really want to give a good look at the Black Widows for my fishing rod. Now, this one in particular is the Black Widow, but it is the new Black Widow. This is the Black Widow G50 from Daiwa, 3.5 test curve, 12 footer. The G50, I don't know what the G stands for, but the 50 refers to a 50 mil butt ring. So that it's got the stainless steel guide holders that attach the rod with nice ceramic guides. I'm a big fan of ceramic guides. I'm not really a guy that likes the titanium guides on other types of rods. Another amazing feature that I wasn't expecting, and maybe I just didn't look at it on the website, but it's got a shrink wrapped handle. That nice rubbery grip. It feels amazing. Now, I've pieced this rod together and just cast it a little bit in the backyard. The recovery on it is incredibly fast. So like when it doesn't flop when you do a cast. It bends down, bends back, and it's then right rigid again. So that's really going to help with my casting ability. Not having that extra flop to slow the line. So I'm super excited about this. It's super light. It actually feels lighter than my 3-pound test curve rod. All of the guides are much larger. So you've got a 50 mil butt ring down here, and I believe it's a 16 mil tip ring. So that the line's just going to soar through it. And I'm already quite confident that with the line I've been using, my casts are going to improve. But one thing I can say about having some braid, smaller diameter, less resistance, my casts are going to go even further now. So really, really excited for this. This is what I've been waiting for. A nice beefy rod that doesn't feel too heavy. It's more comfortable to use. It goes with the spod rod I already have, and it's Daiwa, which I've been using. So I'm confident in this rod really doing its job. And it looks super, super sleek. So one of the ways that you can get this for yourself, if you go over to CarpKit.com, one of the nice features about the website is it has a list down the left-hand side where it's baits and lines, rods. All of that is just listed in categories on the left. You can just select that and it will give you everything that falls into that category. But if you want a more direct search, if you look a little bit further down on the left, you can actually select by company. So in this case, Daiwa. You just go down a little bit further on the left, click on Daiwa, and it gives you all of the Daiwa products that are up there. And you can look at all the different rods that he has on Carp Kit. The same goes for CC Moore. You go down that list on the left-hand side, select CC Moore from the brands category, and it will immediately take you to where all the CC Moore baits happen to be on the site. Also, when you have that up, there's a list on the right that should show you all of the brands that are also available. So you should have no problem navigating through to find out specifically what you want. If you want to look at more than just the rods, you want to look at some of the Daiwa reels, just clicking that brand will show you everything. So it can be really handy if you're one of those people that likes to stick with a certain brand and know exactly what they have out there and what's available. It's just, again, it's another great feature that I really like about the site. So thank you, Simon. Thank you, CarpKit.com, for hooking us up with another great purchase. Thank you to Core for all of your generous gifts that you've sent over from Holland. And Jan, again, for getting out fishing with us and having that opportunity to spend some time with you guys. And again, to Peter's Tackle for being my local shop and being able to provide the products that I need when I'm in a pinch and I really need it. So yeah, overall, lots of great stuff to do my preparation with for the Shimano Canada Carp Cup, fishing with Demir next weekend. So excited. The long weekend in May spent up on the St. Lawrence River with a lot of really talented anglers and some really good friends as well. I'm stoked. I'm so excited. I'm supposed to be getting all of this stuff ready, and instead I'm sitting here talking to you. So we're done. I have gear to get ready. We have a tournament to prepare for. So we'll see you next time. Hey, for more videos like you just saw, just click on the links right over here. And to subscribe to our channel and keep up with the latest updates and newest videos, just click the logo on the screen.